No,
recording.
so we've got two different plats to go through. Class development agreements. The first one is Sierra Springs #2. Okay. We've got the development agreement.
Because those will be quicker.
Yeah. This is north of 41st. It's tied off of, well, Berkeley Park, and then Sierra Springs is up above that, and Rock River or Red Rock is below it. Okay.
I know I looked at 3.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So I'll let you put the- Okay.
And we have Bundy Estates development agreement. So if you remember, Bundy Estates was platted, and we went through this process, and as soon as it got there, they vacated it, and now it's back. But we did manage to get rid of the spike strip that was on the south of the development.
Where is this?
Off of
45th.
east.
Out past, you go across Yellowstone Highway, it's an ag plot.
Yeah, it's north of Highway 26, north and east of Beach's Corner by about a mile.
Sure. You've got a home there.
Yeah,
There was
there's
one home that was put there with the first plat before they vacated it.
What was the spike strip?
The spike strip was a 5-foot strip of land to the south that was all along the road, on the south side of the road. And that was in the first plat, and that has been removed from this one.
That's- Should we do the findings?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I brought one to sign and then a copy for each of you.
This is on the findings of fact, conclusions and decision. Application for amendment of zoning ordinance from RP to R-1.5 for A.H.G Capital. Okay. Michelle.
All right. So Hagen, this matter comes before the Bonneville County Commissioners as a request to amend the zoning ordinance on a parcel of land from residential park RP to residential R1.5. The request is being made by A.H.G Capital LLC on property located on the north side of 49th North, south of US Highway 26, east of Wellhouse Drive and Ammon Road in the area known as Beaches Corner, Bonneville County, Idaho. The Planning and Zoning Commission heard this matter on March 23rd, 2022, and recommended approval of the rezone with a unanimous vote. A subsequent hearing was held by the County Commissioners on May 12th, 2022, after having reviewed the testimony in the zoning ordinance and the comprehensive plan and the reference information submitted. The Commissioners make the following findings. One, that the parcel is zoned RP and is depicted as such on the county zoning map. The county's comprehensive plan identifies the parcel as a mixed-use land use. The property is adjacent to urban residential land use and mixed-use land use designations. The request is for an 8.76 acre parcel. And then that the property was rezoned from C2 to RP in April of 2012. And the former subdivision plat known as Teton Heights Division 2 was vacated in February of 2012. The subject property was included in a 2-lot subdivision plat that was recorded in April 2012 and known as Sorensen Acres. The property is adjacent to RP zoned property to the west, C2 to the north, A1 to the east, and R1 to the south across 49th North. That the owner has proposed uses which require that the tract be zoned R1.5 to be developed. It is proposed that the property be developed with single-family dwelling units. That the applicant chose to submit a preliminary plat and layout of the utilities at the same time as the rezone application. This was done even though county planning staff had recommended waiting to see if the rezone was successful. Findings. The purpose of the county comprehensive plan is to provide a long-range growth plan that is intended to identify and direct future growth in an orderly, convenient, logical, and systematic pattern. B. The opinion of the county commissioners is that there is sufficient property zoned for residential uses in this area. It is also the opinion of the commissioners that the zoning map amendment cannot be considered orderly because it does not meet the planning goal, which specifically states that we are to ensure that neighboring land uses are reasonably compatible. We must arrange the uses of land so that they are orderly, convenient, and suitably related to each other and to their natural setting. C. The immediate area has a presently distinct and separate character as a transitional area from commercial to less dense A1 zoned areas, and it should be recognized as such. The county commissioners believe expanding the more urban-like residential uses further to the east would adversely affect the other adjacent, more rural and less dense land uses. D. The opinion of the county commissioners is that the creation of a comb effect of zoning along the north side of 49th North is not an acceptable zoning practice in that it creates hardships on the commercial and non-commercial residentially used properties that may be required to cater to more dense residential development. There is an undeveloped high-density residential zone followed by existing developed commercial, and then a developed large lot residential, single-family dwelling, followed by a proposed higher density residential zone, and then agriculture. The proposed zone does not meet the goal of neighboring land uses being compatible because the nature of the area continuing east consists of larger parcels that are developed with single-family dwellings. The property was rezoned in 2012 from C2 to RP zone due to the consistency with the existing immediate area. The current proposal disrupts that model. E, it is also the county commissioner's opinion that the proposal does not comply with the comprehensive plan in that all proposals should facilitate the grouping or clustering of compatible uses and those which support or depend upon each other. Grouping will also permit public services to be provided most economically. Additionally, new uses should prevent undue concentrations of uses which would destroy living quality, congest thoroughfares, or overload public facilities. F, the property is located along an arterial roadway. The proposal must protect the adjoining uses' lot compatibility qualities by requiring landscape screening or buffering between lesser and more intensive adjacent uses. G, the area is known as Beach's Corner and is a convergence of multiple arterial roadways that intersect in the area, which result in a challenging traffic pattern. The proposed rezone extends the urban residential zone to the east, creating peripheral expansion instead of encouraging infill development as stated in the comprehensive plan. Furthermore, the Idaho Department of Transportation is proposing to install a major connector from Highway 20 to Highway 26 along 49th North. H, the mixed-use land use designation allows for both commercial and or residential zones to be considered. The commissioners may determine which is the appropriate zone in that location based on considerations of the existing land use in the comprehensive plan. It is therefore the opinion of the county commissioners today that the proposal for 8.76 acres to an R1.5 would impact the existing developed and anticipated uses in the area in a negative manner. Conclusions. The county commissioners acknowledge that this property is designated as mixed-use land use on the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan acknowledges that all map amendments requests must be properly recognized and that the commission is not required to allow the rezone on the sole basis that an R1.5 zone that may be considered by the commissioners in an anticipated mixed-use area. Indeed, there are many zones that may be considered by the commissioners in these area. Instead, the commission clearly has the obligation to review all the facts and use its discretion in considering the evidence presented in a rezone request. For those reasons stated above, the commissioners believe that the Planning and Zoning Commission erred on their recommendation to approve the rezone. The commissioners still believe that extending the more urban-like residential zones further east would be inappropriate at this time. The commissioners believe that the existing RP zone complies with the existing land use designation. Existing residentially zoned land allows the appropriate transition of residential density and is compatible with the adjacent zoning property decision. Based upon the above facts, it is the decision of the county commissioners that the request for amendment to the from RP to R1.5 be denied.
Thank you. Questions?
There's a few typos in there. Did you guys pick them up? They be corrected. On number C, you have an extra A, letter A in there. The area has a present, a distinct.
Transitional area.
And then under conclusions, fourth line, allow the rezone on sole basis that an R1.5 zone is a zone that may be, I think you're missing an A there.
Okay,
And then,
Go back to C.
am I reading it wrong?
The immediate area presently has a distinct end. Let's see, which one was it?
C, the immediate area has a presently a distinct. The A should be omitted after presently.
Okay.
And then under the conclusions,
Should it be after or before? Presently has a distinct and separate character.
well, if you want to redo the order of words, yeah, then it could be that way.
Has a presently, because a presently distinct, I don't think is grammatically correct.
It's not, I remove the A.
So presently has a distinct.
So it's English, I have no opinion.
Either way, you need to change the order of words or just take out that.
There's the next one.
The immediate area presently has a distinct.
That's a better
Yeah.
phrasing.
Has a presently established, yeah, distinct, the A needs to go away.
and separate character. So the immediate area has a presently distinct and
It
separate
should say
character.
Has a
transitional-
presently established, distinct and separate character
That sounds good.
Okay.
is what,
Yeah, because that was one of
Yeah.
the corrections that.
Yes, that's the other version.
Okay, so
and then the other thing that
So
I
just
noticed
in-
in,
translated from the corrections, and what was it in the corrections?
has a presently established, distinct and separate character is what it says.
So the A should be
So has a presently established, the A should say established.
established.
And then the other grammatical thing that I noticed in this version is when it says county commissioners, it shouldn't be an apostrophe S, it should just be commissioners. Sorry, Brian, there was other things you noticed too. What was the other
No,
one?
that's fine. And then if you go to conclusions, fourth line, after 1.5 zone is a zone that may be considered, I assume. You're missing an A in there.
Yeah, and that's how it is in this other version. So we just
Okay.
need to make sure that the grammatical is the same as,
And then on line 6, considered by the commissioners in this area, should be this instead of these. Or if you're going,
It's-
if you're
it
using
should
these,
be
it
these
areas.
because it's, yeah, these areas,
Okay,
because
then
it's
you need to-
referring to the mixed use
And you need
areas.
to add an S on it.
Yeah.
area.
Okay, so let's make sure we understand what they're suggesting on corrections. So just gave us.
So remove all the apostrophe S's in commissioners that
Yep.
had been missed. 'Cause some of them had been caught. In B, apostrophe S, C, the immediate area has a presently established, distinct and separate character as a transitional area from commercial to less dense A1 zoned areas. And it should be recognized as such. You like how that reads? Okay. Then to conclusions. Have the comprehensive plan acknowledges that all map amendment requests must be properly recognized and that the commission is not required to allow the rezone on the sole basis that an R1.5 zone is a zone that may be considered by the commissioners in an anticipated mixed-use area. And then indeed, there are many zones that may be considered by the commissioners in these areas. Instead, the commission clearly has the obligation to review all the facts and use its discretion. Anything else?
So, that's a couple notes I have. English. Yeah.
Well, I would just like to make a comment. I appreciate how this is written and I again do not take lightly turning over reverse and decision by the planning and zoning. But I think we've been very consistent on the commissioner level of our conclusions in that whole area. And I think our intent, our purpose, our, our desire is very clear there. And I think it's for the best of the county. So
I was just gonna make a comment that they included in our 2002 decision.
2012.
12, yeah, it's been a long time. I was here on that decision. And this decision is compatible with what we intended back then for the development of the area, the application. So we would have amended that. So it's
with that, I'd make a motion that we approve the finding of facts and deny the,
with the corrections.
with the corrections, needed, the grammatical corrections.
Second that motion. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, if you want to get the signed copy corrected, then we'll sign it and get it to you.
Get it. I'll get it.
I think that will work on that. I'll take care of
Okay.
landings.
Okay. There's-
Okay.
Yeah, for our findings. Yeah, we can go back to road and bridge.
All right.
Sorry, Lance, we hijacked part of your meeting.
We've cleared out enough of the crowd that we can see you guys on the back row.
So let's go ahead and do,
Yeah.
we've got Ryan Day, Karen Hyatt, and Kelly Hoops here. Follow-up discussion about Highway 26.
About one of these. Yeah. I didn't bring one for you.
That's all right. I've already had one smart.
Oh, you beat me to that one. I still-
Yep.
Okay, what can we,
Okay, yeah, well, about a month ago, I think we met with you. And we since developed a state local agreement with the project here. It should be a fairly quick meeting. I'll hand these out to you. Let's see. See one of these also? Jim. I think it's a pretty straightforward agreement. What's in the agreement is basically upon the construction of Hit Road at 26 intersection, and also the construction of US 20 to 26 connector. Then the piece of roadway from about Woodruff out to Beach's Corner on the existing 26 would relinquish back to county control. And so it's a pretty quick document to look through, and I was just gonna leave this here with you to review and make comments, and we could either meet back with you, or you could send your comments back through Lance, however you'd like me to put this down.
I did have one question, specifically about how close to Woodruff is. Kind of in line with what happened here yesterday with that traffic signal too.
Yeah.
Is that traffic signal?
It is.
Turned over to the
I was just gonna tell you guys have to fix that by tomorrow. Is that line is on the east of the intersection, so that is within the city's city limits.
That's kind of.
I enjoyed the four-way stop this morning on
I
that.
can only imagine about that.
It was flowing really well.
It actually did move pretty well. I was surprised.
Shockingly.
Really?
Yeah.
you must have missed rush hour then.
That was,
I also saw the crash yesterday on my way to work. I still don't know how that happened.
Yeah, what happened? Okay. I just saw it.
like, picked up, found the pole.
Yeah, he was asleep and just ran people right into it, they'd go 55 mile an hour, that just trampled up the front of that truck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, it didn't kill him, I'm surprised, but
didn't look like
moved the
airbags.
foundation like 16 inches, so they were looking at it yesterday, seeing
Yeah.
the damages and seeing today that we're trying to get something back up there. So not everybody has to go through the four-way
I
stop.
like the
sign.
dangling light.
There's quite a bit of stuff that had fallen off the
Hanging
poles
in the
too.
breeze.
See, they're supposed to crash into the roundabout. That's kind of one of those, what do they call those barriers?
Yeah,
Jersey barrier.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, I'd have been
One
there
of
with
the-
Mike's.
Well,
That
he
would
not
have
clear
been,
across the center lane, clear across the opposing lane. I mean, he could have hit.
Yeah, it's a
somebody.
miracle he didn't hit anybody else,
Yeah.
really.
So, unfortunate accident, but yeah.
So this agreement transfers of ownership to the state.
The blue line from Woodruff to Beach's Corner would then transfer the ownership to the county.
That's the highway.
Yeah,
That is the
that's the
current highway.
current highway.
Current highway. Okay.
And then the red line is the 49th. That's a county road, and that's where we're looking in that area. I don't know if it's gonna be exactly there. But as we jump into design, we'll finalize the position of that road, but that's where the new 20 to 26 connector would be.
This agreement doesn't switch any ownership of 49.
No, but it at least puts that on the radar so we can consider it in the future. We've already, because of the meeting we had, when you guys expressed the interest, I think that's what we relied on as comments in that it was reasonable to think that there's going to be a project in there.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but now we have a document to help us with planning and zoning commission. Right, Austin?
Yeah,
Okay.
we need it. Yeah, all the help we can get.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have this reviewed, you know. It's legal counsel and everything, when we get it on the agenda.
Yeah, and after, I haven't ran this, I've ran this through our headquarters folks, but it hasn't went through legal yet. After your legal folks, we'll get back, we'll run through our legal, then I'll get a final document. But there's a couple other hoops that we're gonna have to jump through before we do this, and one of them would be, I think, state code on a relinquishment that it has to be a public meeting, a hearing held to transfer that. So there's a few things like that we'll have to address as we move along.
I think we just went through that with the tech park to the college,
Oh, okay.
so similar to that.
And I can kind of go through this in more detail of, what the plan is on Hit Road right now. We put the exhibit of what alternative that we're pursuing. It's we'd be removing the roundabout there and putting the signal in it and be phased in with the signal on that US 26 and 25th also. We did follow the county, BMPO and City of Idaho Falls agreement on lane configuration and right of way widths. So we was following your guys' policies on that. I think that we also did a little bit of an upgrade on Iowa Road. We had a left turn lane in there on both sides of that 25th.
So is that gonna require, all we looked at, took all the buildings on the east side?
Yeah.
Much.
And I think we've talked to every owner along that stretch, maybe but one. That Airbnb, we spoke with them, Kelly.
I have, we haven't had to sit down to go through all the details, but I've visited directly with him.
At
And
this,
he's aware of the
yeah.
project.
And at this point, it's been received fairly well. Some, don't want to be relocated and some are fine with it, but I don't see anything being terribly upset right now. We understand that something has to go on out there. But I guess that would be, however you want to relay this information back and forth, I can continue to kind of meet with you, or you could have your attorney and then go over and just send me the red ones back. And I can
Yeah, I think us, but how long will it take you guys?
I will go as fast as I can.
Challenge?
No,
I'm kind of slow sometimes, though.
just so we know, I mean, this helps us, with planning up in that beach's corner area.
I would love to move this as fast as we possibly can. It helps us also move forward on the HIT 26 project. And
Because I'm assuming we could get this reviewed, have it back to them in a week or two.
I think so. Most of the time we've got stuff to Weston or Scott, it turn around in about a week.
as soon as I get it back, I'll incorporate the changes
So that's
and
kind
send
of
it our
name that tune. We can do this in 14 days.
Yeah. that's right.
You're supposed to say we can do it in 13.
Including holiday.
Yeah, I will turn it over instantly. I'm not so sure how fast our legal can review this. I would hope that it could be fairly quick.
Okay.
And then we could move to, we maybe coordinating the public hearing and making sure we're following all the state code on the relinquishment. It could happen pretty quick.
We just appreciate having something like this in hand now.
And I'm sorry I didn't come a little quicker because I was wanting 2 weeks before. And it was a month.
So we've got a bunch of applications up in that area. So we'll just use this to evaluate where they are, what they do.
I did hear that there was a pit that was approved on the south side of 49th near the feedlot area. There's a gravel pit that's approved.
This is in a
Yes.
different area.
No, that's the one.
Oh, this is, well,
Yeah.
this is on 49th, but
Yeah.
we're gonna get at least 100-foot right away on this section.
You know, when we look at spending federal funds, we have to come up with more than one alternative. So we have, we're looking at an alternative to the north and to the south and on alignment. And some preliminary sketches that would run through this pit here. And I know that I've been told that they're working the backside first, but that was a concern of ours that we'll have to address as we move forward. So,
And that's something that's already been approved.
When was that?
It's in the original.
The plat hasn't been approved,
Plat hasn't.
but it's INM zoned, INM 1 zone, so it allows for a gravel pit. They just have to comply with the conditions, which is filing the plat. So we have not done that plat yet, all the way through.
No, and that was, I was gonna talk with Austin after our road and bridge meeting about several things on here that we have, road and bridge has concerns with, so.
So we're still working through a lot of that. So if you could get a hold of them now before this gets recorded, that might be a good time to kind of let them know what you're thinking so they can incorporate some of that into their plan.
and I guess when we're going through the process, we'll have to jump to the preliminary design and work through the environmental document, then we get that environmental document approved and it's select one of them alternatives, but that's 6 to 9 months away before we can turn and say, probably this is what we'll build.
So what's the other alternative? Are they all on 49th, just in different locations? or is-
Well, what I'd say is if here's 49th, we have one that breaks just to the south, maybe 1,000 feet and runs through this way and then ties back in.
Ties up, okay.
And so it runs through that property there, or we have one that breaks to the south, maybe, I'm just gonna say 1,000 feet, I don't know how many feet it is. North, excuse me, and then it tie back in before we hit the
One of
HG
those
gravel.
is already an existing gravel pit.
Yeah, and so we'd have to, so I'm gonna say that some of these alternatives are probably better than other ones, and that one, with the HK pit, with the hole in the ground already. That's something that we want the cost to fill that back in. It's probably not plausible. So we'd have to tie in before we get that. So,
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's kind of a little little bit outside of what we'll be using this for, just the beaches corner area.
Yeah.
The rest of it will just have.
And like I mentioned to you before, we have had people come in along there for other things too on the north side. And I told all of them that there is a plan for an interchange there and to come and talk with ITE before they do anything. So I'm trying to do my best to refer them to come to you guys before we
Yeah,
do anything with them, so we make sure we're not interfering in negative
See,
ways.
one of the things we may consider requiring ahead of any of these is from IG. The last 2 hearings, and they represented that they spoke to you guys, they were sure they were going to get their access permit. And check back with nobody.
Just northeast, just going.
So that's something just for Austin's consideration, you know, maybe staff can put in a report whether or not it's been there, and then we can decide whether or not it's required.
Yeah.
Because that's been a big concern on some of these is on the access. I can't believe that everybody that says you're going to grant access for one.
we're having a driveway every 50 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, driving down Memorial, all these streets coming on here, so anyway, we'll do what we can under our regulations to have balance both sides. Okay,
All right, well, we'll just wait for that from you and then I will move it through as fast as I can. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
see, I go to lunch, right, you do that too.
Try to cut back a little bit.
I was gonna buy yours the other day, but you slipped off the other way.
Oh, well, I was gonna buy yours, and you were already up there before I got there.
He's right, being efficient.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea, right.
I buy yours.
Hey, you guys have a good day. We'll see you later. Yeah.
So the next thing on the agenda is a utility construction agreement with Bonneville Sewer District for the work along 45th East. We're trying to get utility agreements with IBSD, Falls Water and others. And this has been quite a while coming, so I wanted to get that before the commissioners get it signed.
And when are they gonna start on their improvements?
So the last time we talked with them, they believe that they are going to keep the sewer line where it is, as it is, and not do improvements and not replace the sewer line. We are gonna have a number of manholes that we'll have to replace the cone with from a concentric to eccentric and maybe rotate it to keep it out of the wheel path. But for the most part, they're gonna leave the line as it is. It'll save a lot of time and a lot of money.
This, I think we're past April. Since the blank day of
We can,
April,
yeah, we can adjust that date,
first of June.
June today, yeah.
Okay,
The next is signing the right-of-way contract for parcel number 97 along 45th East.
what's the count so far?
This is the fourth one that we've actually got back returned. We have sent out 17 out of the approximate 80 appraisals. So we haven't got a lot of them back, but we've got about a quarter of them sent out as a part of those appraisals going to the landowners.
What's it gonna cost us?
The 17 that we've got so far is about $760,000.
This is like
That one's one of the lower amounts.
18,000 for 840 square feet.
Yeah, that one is actually one of the lower amounts. we've got the one whose house is closest. That appraisal went out to the Papases and it's over $100,000.
Yeah. That's the work that form or they
I haven't heard back from them on what they've seen in that appraisal. I know that they have talked with Johnson Hill a couple times, but he hasn't given his opinion as far as what they're gonna do.
that's just the warranty. deed.
Warranty, yeah. Yeah, you don't need to sing the warranty. deed.
Okay.
I think that's all we had on the agenda. Signature or anything, so.
You saw the voicemail forwarded.
Yeah, we did. And I sent it on to KR and they were up there prepping for MAC. And so our grader operator had actually gone by and graded it, but then he hopped off and onto the roller to try to roll it to do some more prep. And that's when Jerry saw him. Well, he just left. It's like, no, he hopped on a roller and he was doing some other stuff. So,
So you were planning to grade it anyway.
Yeah.
Just haven't out there yet.
yeah, we're getting ready for MAG out there. So
Tell Ski we did a pretty good job of dust control.
he came in yesterday and he said, you know, you did a really good job of dust control over the weekend, but now you can turn off the spigot for a little while. Because he was pulling people out of the ditch with his tractor because they were stuck.
Bryon was up down in Park. What'd you say they got?
We got 3 inches on Saturday.
The
And
snow.
then
Oh,
rain,
Oh,
3
rain.
inches of rain. And then another inch on Monday. And then woke up with 5 inches of snow, or another inch on Sunday, 5 inches of snow Monday morning.
Yeah.
We were up there camping and we were gonna stay till Monday morning and we ended up coming home Sunday night. So we didn't want to deal with the snow and trailers.
You were in
trying-
Idaho Falls.
Yeah, trying to get
Well,
home.
I've never seen it. So.
No, we went fishing on Saturday and we always go over by McCray's Bridge. We usually go down on the right side, but we just pitched our tents right under the bridge so we could stay. I mean, seriously, we lined our poles out and we all just sat under the bridge and watched them because it was so wet. It's just miserable.
Did you catch any fish?
Yeah, we caught quite a few. We usually always do well there, especially on opening weekend. A lot of little rainbows, so. There's a spot down further we like to go to, but so muddy, we couldn't even get back in there.
Well, All River was low and clear, right morning.
It wasn't that
By
bad.
Monday, yeah, it was running high and muddy. So
Yeah.
A lot of runoff.
It's good though, we need it.
Very.
I did have to hear a comment that's like, that's what we get for declaring a drought.
I mean, yeah, it still gives them a chance to move water around. I don't think this is a drought buster, but it sure helps.
It sure helps.
Yeah, it's not by any means. We're still gonna be short of water.
Yeah.
Unless it keeps doing this all summer.
Yeah.
And I hope it doesn't, because we need some time to actually do the stuff we gotta do.
You're not using your irrigation water as much, right?
Not much.
There's a lot still irrigating though. I see a lot of.
Last year,
Nothing like last year.
first day of June, we were on blacktail boating and it was like 92 degrees. It's just weird how different it is from year to year. but
Yeah.
Okay.
Any update on 9th West and 12th West? Is the city still accessing?
I think they went around our paint truck and excavated it out. They found ways around it, so it hasn't stopped them from doing what they're doing.
Yeah, but they're accessing through the city entrance still, aren't they?
I think for the most part, they're going through the city, but I'm still not sure that they've stopped completely. I was gonna head out there after the meeting and try to see.
If we don't get them on notice, all of a sudden they're gonna connect the asphalt
Yeah,
Have
and
they
it's-
come in like they said they would?
they have not come to me at all.
All cities have right.
Yeah.
down there.
Oh.
Okay, you better follow up and keep after them, because certainly you didn't let us know far enough ahead. And then it
Yeah.
moves down the problem to the next one, which they will resolve.
Right. Yeah, well, after we talk with Austin and Michelle here, we'll